The Last of Us doesn't seem to catch a break because we just got some really bad news regarding The Last of Us Remake that I think will be a huge factor for a lot of people in terms of deciding whether to get the game or not. So we're going to talk about that along some other recent news like the reveal of Yakuza 8, CD Projekt's stock plummeting, and the huge successful launch of Stray. So let's get right into it. Hey, what's up guys, OP Gamer here, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Gaming Report. The first news of today is sadly some very disappointing news regarding Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Remake. Just recently, a leaker has suggested that the game will have no significant improvement in terms of gameplay. And we actually just got another update regarding this situation, because a 6-minute video has apparently leaked showcasing gameplay of The Last of Us Remake, confirming that it doesn't have any improvement in terms of gameplay. Just a warning, this article contains a major spoiler warning for the first sequence in The Last of Us. So if you didn't play the original game, I suggest you skip this part. Now I'm going to play the footage in the background here, and as you can see, the report seems to be true. The gameplay looks exactly similar to the first game. It just seems that the graphics has gotten better and the frame rate has been boosted to support the new hardware. Now this is especially confusing because Naughty Dog themselves said that The Last of Us Part 1 is built from the ground up for PS5 and PC with new models, graphics, rendering, and importantly, gameplay mechanics. So I don't know why they claim that the gameplay mechanics have been improved. Maybe they are improved to the slightest. They might have fixed some bugs or glitches with the gameplay, but I think they should have worded it more specifically in order to not confuse the public, because the public did think that the gameplay will be largely different and more similar to the second game. According to the leaks, The Last of Us Part 1 will support VRR, 4K 40 FPS, which is gameplay mode, and 4K 60 FPS, which is dynamic mode. While most footage has been taken down, there is still a screenshot making the rounds which shows Joel carrying his daughter, Sarah, in front of the Armadillo Theater. You can see that embedded in a tweet below. The tweet is by TCMF2, and he said, "This shot for The Last of Us Part 1 looks amazing, this is gameplay." And he quotes it as PS5 1440p. Do let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Are you disappointed that there are no gameplay improvements, and the differences are primarily focused on animations and audio fixes? Or are you okay with the gameplay being the same, while just improving graphics and animations and audio? Moving on, we're going to quickly talk about how successful Stray's launch has been. If you don't know, Stray just came out and is sitting at an 84 on Metacritic. The game has been #1 on trending on Twitter for the past 24 hours, which is remarkable for an indie game. It is also the studio's biggest launch, which is crazy because it's been 1 day since it came out and it's already this successful. I personally have been playing it and I absolutely loved it. If you're curious about my thoughts on the game, I did a review on it, which you will find in the description of the video. There are very few popular indie games that came out this year, including Sifu, and it's just always great when small studios like this get the spotlight every once in a while. If you played Stray, let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Moving on, we need to talk about how CD Projekt's stock value is quarter of what it was before Cyberpunk 2077 launched. Now this might not come as a surprise to many people, seeing how Cyberpunk 2077 performed. As reported by TheGamer.com, a new report from Business Insider Poland paints a grim picture for CD Projekt. The company's value has centered by over 75% since just before the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, a business that once boasted a market capitalization of over 40 billion Polish zloty, briefly becoming the most valuable game company in Europe. It is now worth less than 10 billion Polish zloty. In the weeks leading up to Cyberpunk's launch, CDP's shares were trending around 400 zloty each, hitting 443 a share, only 6 days before the game's release. The story since then has been one of sharp falls and brief plateaus, with CDP shares and market cap halving in value in the first few months of 2021, then almost halving again since the end of March this year. In simpler terms, this basically means that the reception of Cyberpunk 2077 and CDP's subsequent firefighting of the problems has shorn off 5 years of the company's overall value. This is despite Cyberpunk 2077 selling almost 14 million copies in 2020 alone. Ever since launch, the developer has been largely focused on fixing problems with the game, and the multiplayer mode that was once promised is now not happening. Perhaps the most humiliating moment, perception-wise, was that Sony removed the game from the PlayStation 4, which we all know it has returned by now. So yeah, it's quite disappointing to hear this. I mean, I totally agree that they should learn a lesson from Cyberpunk 2077. I personally thought that the game was, and still is, in an unacceptable state to be sold as an end product. I honestly think that the game deserves like 2 more years in development. My biggest issue with Cyberpunk isn't just the glitches, but it is the poor gameplay. I just never thought the game was super fun to play, and the story just wasn't that great either. Hopefully CD Projekt Red learns from this mistake and learns to polish a game before releasing it to the public and falsely advertising the product on their social media platforms. Our last topic of the day is regarding Yakuza 8. Famitsu shares its first look of Yakuza 8. According to Famitsu, Yakuza 8 will take us to a brand new town, like a dragon took place in Yokohama, south of Tokyo. And we've been previously seeing Kamurocho, Sotenbori, and Shinshicho, to name a few. Ichiban also has his hair tied up rather than an afro, while Mirei Asakura is reportedly making an appearance. And this is the tweet that Famitsu published on Twitter today. If you translate the tweet, it says, an unreleased video of the New York, apologies for mispronouncing this, but Ryu ga Gotoku 8. The video was released in an unusual form. In the video, there are also numbers and appearances that look like Adachi-san. Kasuga Ichiban is not afro, but his hair tied behind him? As reported by IGN, studio director Masayoshi Yokoyama did confirm a little at the time, saying the new game would be a continuation of Like a Dragon's story set a few years later. So it makes sense that the protagonist, Kasuga, Adachi, and Nanba have appeared in this new footage. We also know that Yakuza 8 will remain a turn-based RPG, after Like a Dragon made a switch to the genre after 7 action-based Yakuza games. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts about the gameplay change of Yakuza. I personally loved it more before Like a Dragon, where it wasn't turn-based, but I know a lot of people love the new transition. Also, let me know, are you excited about Yakuza 8? And what do you think about the screenshots that they released here? That's all the news I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do remember to leave a like on this video, as that will help a lot with the YouTube algorithm and in giving me the ability to make more videos like this. Please subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and don't forget to hit the bell notification icon to never miss any future uploads. That's all from me now, I'll catch you next time.